Welcome back to CBS Sports HQ, presented by DAZN. Catch the Canelo Alvarez Callum Smith boxing match Saturday night, December 19th, a super middleweight fight for the WBA and WBC titles. This fight for Alvarez and Smith will be their first in over a year. In 2019, Canelo Alvarez knocked out WBO light heavyweight champ Sergey Kovalev in the 11th round. And speaking of knockouts, Callum Smith is a perfect 27-0 with 19 knockouts, 10 of them coming in the first round. That's impressive. The British boxer has made 2 successful title defenses since winning a World Boxing Super Series 8-man elimination tournament final in 2018. One of his 3 older brothers, Liam, lost his WBO junior middleweight title to Canelo Alvarez in 2016. So Callum Smith looking for a little revenge here. All right, we're going to focus in on Callum Smith in this segment. For that, we welcome in CBS Sports combat analyst and co-host of Morning Combat, Brian Campbell. Major size difference between Callum Smith and Canelo Alvarez. Smith 6'3", Alvarez 5'9", which gives Smith a greater reach. BC, is that something you're going to be watching for in this fight?
Oh, without question. Look, when the first pictures in the past 24 hours came out of these 2 fighters standing across from each other in San Antonio, it looked like an NBA point guard standing next to a 7-foot center. It really was that startling in contrast. It's obviously going to come down, though, to Callum Smith actually putting that into play, using his jab, controlling from the outside, and really making Canelo Alvarez have to earn everything he gets. Canelo is a fantastic body puncher. In fact, you don't agree? Just ask Liam Smith, Callum's older brother, who was finished to the body in 2016, as you mentioned, by Canelo. But Canelo's going to have to pay a price for getting inside. That's something Callum Smith is going to have to work on from start to finish, being the big man, acting like the big man, and really letting Canelo Alvarez know that you may have won titles in multiple weight classes, but I have the real title right now at 168. I'm the bigger man. You need to come up to me.
Yeah, BC, he comes in as a plus 500 underdog. And as you mentioned, yeah, he wants to earn revenge for his brother Liam, who lost his WBO junior middleweight title to Canelo Alvarez in 2016. How much do you think that'll be weighing on his mind?
You know, I talked to him on Morning Combat last week and asked him about it. He says, I said, look, is this revenge? He says yes and no. He was in Liam's corner by his side throughout the entire fight week in 2016. He knows how much of a struggle this was, Liam taking his first L against Canelo and the vicious way it happened. He certainly wants to redeem the great name of the Smith fighting brothers, all 4 accomplished pro boxers, either champions or title contenders, but he's not using it for fuel just the same. This is the biggest fight of Callum Smith's career, whether a family member of his has gone in there with Canelo Alvarez or not. And Smith really talked about being ready. This fight, if you recall, did fall apart many times in the negotiation stands this year in 2020. But what Callum Smith did most importantly was stay in the gym and stay ready just in case. We do know that Canelo Alvarez made big headlines just a couple of months back by becoming a promotional and network free agent. At that time, the dream for Callum Smith seemed to go away, but he stayed hungry, he stayed ready. And now on somewhat short notice, he has the chance to legitimize himself worldwide, stamp himself as not just the best 168 fighter in the world, maybe the best Smith brother in the world, and maybe one of the biggest stars potentially if he can get past Canelo Alvarez. But that's a big ask. We'll see what happens on Saturday.
Yeah, if Smith pulls off the upset, what's the key to victory for him to defeat the Mexican superstar Canelo Alvarez?
You know, without question, it's first, foremost, last, beginning, middle, use that jab to control Canelo. He's going to have to make Canelo pay a price, as I mentioned earlier. He's going to have to get Canelo's respect. The one thing you have to give Alvarez so much credit for, whether he's fighting at 160, 168, or even light heavyweight when he moved up to face Sergey Kovalev, he's been the puncher, he's been the aggressor, he's been the guy to go after it. But he's considerably the smaller man in this fight. And Callum Smith is no pushover. He's coming off a disputed decision win over John Ryder, where he admits he didn't look his best. But before that, he was on one heck of a run, blowing away George Groves. Hey, the guy Rocky Fielding, who Canelo Alvarez knocked out a couple years ago for his title, Callum Smith knocked him out in the first round years earlier. Here's a guy who can punch, he can fight, but he's going to have to act tough and be tough. And that's keep Canelo at the end of that jab, because the closer they get, the less that height advantage will matter. And that's when you can expose what Callum Smith and his family have been unable to do. Keep those ribs clean from hooks coming from Canelo Alvarez, a vicious body puncher. He can end the fight at any time with one of those equalizers, and Callum Smith's gonna have to be the big man. And while I say his jab is key to setting everything up, if he doesn't land a right hand that matters in the first half of this fight, Canelo's gonna have no reason not to walk him down.
BC, looking forward to talking with you post-fight here on CBS Sports HQ on Saturday night, my friend. And hey, for much more with Brian Campbell, also joined by Luke Thomas, check out Morning Combat. They spotlight the weekend's biggest news from the world of boxing and mixed martial arts. You can watch the series on YouTube. You can also listen to the podcast on Apple and Spotify or wherever you download your podcasts. Download and subscribe today. This hour of CBS Sports HQ is presented by DAZN. Catch the Canelo Alvarez-Callum Smith boxing match Saturday night, December 19th. CBS Sports HQ continues after the break with NFL picks. Keep it locked.
Want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.